Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Ghafir, وَقَالَ رَبُّكُمُ ادْعُونِي أَسْتَجِبْ لَكُمْ. So many times when we think of dua, we think of it as something that is almost like a burden, because we're thinking about dua, our asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for something, as similar to when we ask another human being for something else. When we ask another human being for something else, inevitably they will start getting tired of us. They might say yes the first few times, but after that, they will start feeling like it's a burden to help us out. They will start getting irritated of us constantly asking them for favors. No matter how much they love us, even if they're our own parents, they will eventually start getting a little fed up of our requests. And so unfortunately, we start thinking of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the same way, that we think if we ask Allah for too many things, He will start getting annoyed of us. He will start getting fed up of us. He will stop loving us. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is commanding us in the Quran, make dua to me. Ud'uni, all of you call upon me. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying it Himself. Not just ud'uni, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then promises us, astajib lakum. It is a promise from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Himself that He will respond to your dua. He will respond to every single dua. He will respond to every single person. Now, the response might not always be a yes, absolutely, you get whatever you ask for. We know from the Prophet ﷺ that the answer could be a yes, or a yes, but not right now, you get it later. Or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us something better instead, perhaps in this dunya, perhaps as reward in the akhirah. Or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala might even prevent something bad from happening to us that was originally written for us. But the beautiful thing about this ayah is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says right after this, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَسْتَكْبِرُونَ عَنْ عِبَادَتِي سَيَدْخُلُونَ جَهَنَّمَ دَاخِرِينَ. And this is really, really interesting. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, those who are arrogant, those who are too proud to worship me, they will enter the hellfire completely disgraced and humiliated. And Ibn Kathir rahimahullah mentions in the tafsir that perhaps this means that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala considers our lack of dua to Him, us not making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, could be taken as a form of pride or arrogance. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from committing such a sin. So next time when you want to make dua, raise those hands up and make dua, and know that you are literally being rewarded for the action of making dua, because you are responding to a command from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran itself. Ramadan Mubarak.